This is Terry Scott, the ABC consultant with Ask LLC. As a self-employed person, caregiver, 1099er, you are owed this COVID money. I can help. This short video, and it's preset for a very fast speed to save you time, by my friend JT McDonald. It explains how you can get all of this. Contact me, watch this video, contact my cell number from anywhere in the USA. Leave me a message and we'll get right back together. Learn how you as an entrepreneur can help others get money, how you can as an individual get your money, and even get a $1,000 referral reward. So here is JT McDonald. Make it a great day. Get back to me with my phone number 218-940-1334. Bye for now.
We had about 20 people on Friday. We had so much interest from calls and whatnot. I'm probably going to look this week and see when I can do another one of these and try to get the most interest for guys to invite people. We are on the tightest deadline I've ever seen on this opportunity, because it's an opportunity that's been out there for a while. We knew a little bit about it. You're probably going to hear me repeat a few things, Richard, because you're one of the first guys on here today. But right now, if you can think of it as 2 years, we got 2020 and 2021, and we have a deadline on how far back we can go to get those tax credits, and money is what they equal with a check for people. So, but I'll be stressing today to everybody, and if I have a few notes I want to make sure I touch on today. Anyone you know, self-employed, small business owners, I don't care if they're a barber, lawnmower, painter, guy who fixes cars out of his garage part-time, anyone self-employed, W-2 guy that might have a full-time job with side hustle, anybody like that. This is geared, it's one of the first times in my life that I've had product, Richard, really honed in like that for somebody that could even be a really, what I call a really small business owner, you know. You met a whole bunch of them, and you know, you have a gift now to come back and share that with them and help. We got a lot of people that are going to really be blessed with this opportunity here, and we put a lot of time in the last few weeks to lay out logistically, you know, what this looks like. So yeah, it should be really exciting. So don't be surprised today if you get a call in the next week. We have an individual that's able to come in the office to help us getting back to people. We're going to work on making sure that agents and affiliates we've met over the years know this. You know, we've got a lot of people popping in on the Zoom right now. So again, this is an opportunity that is really unique, but it's a short one when you add 2020 in with the 2021. When I see this opportunity, I think of it personally, how would those extra funds be helpful? I'm going to be showing some things today as people are coming on here. You've probably seen me repeat a few things here because we're early, but if you haven't seen this sheet that says, congratulations, you're getting a refund, if you haven't seen that sheet, I recommend get a hold of Jen. I'm going to give a few more minutes here to see who all can get on, and I'm going to touch on again, Richard, you and me go way back. Any of the affiliates or agents you know from your years of working, a lot of your independent insurance, financial guys that were doing credit repair, all these different things you've seen, mortgage guys, realtors, they're all hurting right now. I hear from some of them. So share these opportunities with these people, and then think of all the people they know. We have a very strong referral opportunity really for them, doing an incentive. It's actually going to be for, again, a referral when they do business with you, that we're going to pay them $1,000, because right now we have to strike hot with the 2020 and 2021 opportunity. And again, 2020 is going to be wrapping up really quick. Well, guys, it's 12:31 here. I think I'm going to try to get the ball rolling here. Again, I'm looking forward to suggestions on when another time would work to get more of your people invited. I want to say thanks for coming on board today. And, you know, looking at the opportunity, the tax code and the tax credits and tax savings are changing rapidly. It's definitely an area where the CPAs and the tax professionals can't keep up. Most of you have probably been involved in ERC in the past. You know, I had a wonderful, wonderful friend that helped introduce really all the powers that be here. And he talked about, you know, did you get your COVID money in 2020 and 21 from, you know, the FMLA, the Family Medical Leave Act? And if not, did you get your paperwork in to see what you qualify for? And I kind of go one step further and say, geez, you know, how soon do you want your money? What will you do with that money? That's really it in a nutshell. We get people to fill out an intake form, a participation form. We also have a you know, PDF information sheet, but almost everyone on this call today has probably heard about ERC, was involved in ERC. There's a lot of great companies out there doing things, and now we know the government's backlog 600,000 last time I heard, and I'm hearing different information out there about that. So now when you bring this into the mix and say, no, this is not the CARES Act money. I had a gentleman say, I know all about the CARES Act money. I go, really? I said, I haven't had one person that truly knew all about it, and I'm sure not going to be the one saying I do, but this guy did. And dealing with the COVID funds that are on this, what I call a self-employed side, or maybe people with W-2s with, I call it the side hustle. I think all of us probably know 2 or 3 side hustle people that are doing. I know guys that are painting on the side. I know school teachers mowing lawn in the summertime, doing other services, tutoring. I know one teacher right now that she teaches piano. She does reading lessons. I mean, those are side hustles, guys. So we are looking at bringing solutions to those people that may not have had any COVID relief. We have an intake form. We have a participation form. They're going to have a real brief call. If somebody asked me about this program and said, what would be the word I'd use to describe it, I'd say tax loophole. I'd say doing ERC, you got all this documentation, all this stuff they got to do, all these things they got to provide, and then we have this program. When I think about healthcare and HIPAA regs and what they can ask for and what they can't, I'd say, to me, to describe it, it's your program. And I like our processor that actually, when he goes through some, he'll touch on that with you, really to see kind of where you're at. But I want to share a couple examples quick today. We had a gal, single mom, self-employed, didn't make a whole lot of money. COVID really affected her. She had the kids out of school more. She had some health issues with it. And her dollars tax-free for one of those years was one of the highest I had saw or heard about, which was around $44,000 one year. And from what I was told, that the previous year, going back to 2020, was probably about at least 25% less than that, just based on how the quarters look. But I mention that because if you know small business owners, independent business owners that are hurting for cash flow, the soonest I've heard that these checks coming out is 3-4 weeks, and I think we're all. So I only stress that to everyone on the call today and anyone you share this with, that you better make sure they understand the sense of urgency about 2020 going away is real. I think you need to make sure they know that. I had a guy today come in my office and say, oh yeah, you know, this looks good. And I'm like, you better get your stuff in, man. I got 20, 30 people calling me today. I got people stopping in here this afternoon. Let's get your paperwork in. Let's see if you qualify. But what I want to make sure all of you have today on the start of this call, if it's your first time on the call, that's great. But you see this little flyer here, the dollar sign? This flyer says, actually, here's your federal refund. Congratulations, you're getting a refund, $31,700. The first guy I showed this to says, wow, that's a lot of money for those 2 years. I said, no, that's 1 year. Then he realized how serious this was, that this is something that you need to be a part of and really help people get some dollars. We have a nice PDF flyer here too, more I call it the informational one. This one here, the tax code, I thought it's pretty neat, the roll of money. But right now we see a flood of business coming in right now, and there's a lot of steps with it. Really the biggest challenge for you is getting your own information to see what's owed for you, learning the process, and then you can go out and help other people. We're hoping you can help a lot of other people take advantage of the 2020 and the 2021 dollars to see if they qualify and how much they qualify for.
JT, I got a couple questions if you have a second.
Yeah, no, I do. That's why I'm here today.
Is this a federal refund only, or is there state involved as well?
I'm glad you brought that up. Only federal.
Okay.
Yes, the Family Medical Leave Act is tied to that. There's been a lot of updates and changes to that for many, many years. You know, guys, there's so much going on with these different programs, and I'm glad Jim brought that up, because the local CPAs and tax professionals, they can't keep up with all this stuff. Hell, we can't. We get updates. I get stuff, and I think Jim does too. Jim sees so many things coming through. I had a call today, a guy who says, hey, you know, how's that payroll tax savings going? I said, you know, it's going pretty good. That's a good program. A lot of education. It's kind of slow. I'm finding that when I show somebody how big their refund might have been for 1 year, it lends the conversation to how many employees they have. And there again, this is going to cover an area that a lot of us probably haven't been able to help people with much, that we're very small. That's the number one problem I have with other programs like the payroll tax savings. They need 10 or more people ideally. There's not enough. Here, in order for them to take advantage of this program, I need an individual. I got a gal stopping in later today. She's been doing some caregiving on the side, cleaning on the side. She's got a full-time job, W-2, so she's got her side hustles. She was affected by COVID. Her kids were out sick. She was out sick. He's coming in later today to fill out the paperwork, but it's challenging for her because to come up with the money needed just for the software fee, remember now I'm talking about 10% down of the credit amount, there's costs we have. So we're going to try to work with everybody as best we can to help them, but this is a federal tax credit. They will not take an IOU from us. So we're going to work on processing this, because most people I talk to have told me, if I can even pay for express processing, get my money a month sooner possibly, I'd love to get that money before Christmas. So I just want to stress that. Hey, Jim, you got anything else?
I got other questions. Is there?
Yeah.
I understand the 10% down is based on how much credits are getting back. Is there a fee as well to process it?
That's coming out of the 10%. The overall charge is 25%.
Okay, so there's no specific fee. So if you don't qualify, they owe zero.
Well, they don't qualify. They don't pay for nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not getting money. They're not going to. Yeah, they're not going to. We're not going to hammer somebody that's. You know, but like we just had a guy that I thought might see 15, 20 grand a year. His was 61,000 when you add the 2 years up. So he called and said, "Thank you. That was nice." Think of this as a 2-year deal, 2020 and 21 together right now. You want to take full advantage that out in the marketplace, there's minimal knowledge about this. I've had more people I talked to already got my waffle. I said, "You seem like you're way." How much did you get for the individual, because you're self-employed, on the 2020 and 2021 checks that you, because your guy helping you must be really good. And they looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? You just told me you got all your stuff. You really don't know what you got. So unless you hired a third party or a secondary I heard in here, said, who are you hiring up? What? He's a second opinion.
Yeah.
You hire a CPA who's a historian. He's going over your taxes. He did it the same last year, did it the same the year before. When did he call you to say, hey, Jim, I want to make sure you got that new tax credit out there and got that money because COVID affected the whole damn economy. How did it affect you? No, he didn't get that call. So this is what we're doing. We are making that call right now. We will help you talk to agents because I feel the biggest opportunity here is helping agents at a discounted rate because I could never get to all of the market area. There's no way. Our interest level, though, is so high on this right now, guys. If you're not sharing the fact that you can see what money they still might be owed, you are missing the boat. So use that to your advantage that you've got, you're going to see what they're qualified for. If they own a business, number one, it could be one-man show. You now have a qualified person in front of you. Jim, you had more questions.
Yeah, I did. Couple things. No, you're saying side business. I assume they filed Schedule C.
So no, they didn't even have to file. Our processing team has informed me they didn't even have to file. There's a lot of companies that don't even show a profit the first 3 years. They're barely holding on. That's okay too.
So whether they filed or not, or reported or not, they can still qualify?
From what I've been told, correct. Yes, and I was also just told Rite Aid, who's a major company like Walmart, is going through bankruptcy. So guys, if a big company like Walmart and Rite Aid are going through some major reorganization, I guarantee you your small guys have had a hell of a time. And all the big boys are using all these tax credits. So I just heard that this morning. So yes. And by the way, American Family, for any of you who know the big insurance firm by Jim, that's not far from your house. 30% corporate layoff across the board. Across the board. That's huge. I got that right from one of their head IT guys, a buddy of mine. That tells me people can't afford their insurance premiums. They work with a lot of small business owners, guys. All I'm saying is you got a huge market for this with people who didn't even file taxes. When I heard that, I couldn't believe it. This program is so different than others that are out there. I hope that all of you today get the participation sheet and the intake form in so they can start the process because that'll really be helpful for you. If these people haven't filed for years, I was just told today a guy didn't file since 2017 and we can still try to help him. That's wonderful. What else you got, Jim?
You mentioned like the $1,000 referral fee. Can you explain exactly who that's getting paid to?
Sure. So let's say Jim talks to a customer, Joe Blow Painter. Joe Blow Painter, he ends up, says his brother also does painting down in Florida. The weather's nicer down there in the winter. So he refers that guy to Jim to do another deal. Well, you got to tell the brother, the first brother you helped, that if he refers the other brother, when that brother's deal's done and gets paid out, the company's going to send him a $1,000 referral check. How do you like that made out to? He'll get it. So that's not for you. You got more business because he referred you. You got your comp, but they're not reducing your comp. They're going to just pay that. Now, the goal for doing that right now this year, again, I want to stress, is for the combo for those that are qualifying for 2020 and 21. What we are seeing and what we've seen in our research and what we've been for over a year, I mean, there's a handful of firms doing stuff out there, not a lot, but a lot of people qualifying for 1 year are qualifying for another year. Today, I just had a call from a gal that was supposed to come here earlier for a meeting, and her kid's got COVID, the doctor just said. She got to pull them out of school. I just got that message on my phone. And I'm thinking, oh, geez, I really don't have a meeting with her and I get me sick, you know what I mean? So it's still affecting people. So yeah, but that referral program we're doing is so you can tell someone right now, hey, we'd like to help see if you qualify. And by the way, we have a way for you to get all your stuff done for free. We do. Forget the 25% charge for them for a minute. If you were to tell me I could earn that fee and there's no cap on it, I could refer you a few people, my first thought is, geez, how many affiliates do I know or guys that own companies around the country? I can get you 10, 20 of those probably pretty quick. I bet you all of you could. I bet if all of you took a sheet of paper today and say, who did I ever have paint my house? Who works on my car? Who does this? Who does that? I bet you could come up with a lot of really small business people in your community. How many small restaurant owners do you know in your area that were affected by COVID in 2020 and 21 that did not get the Family Medical Leave Act COVID money? I know by me, I'm in a real small town, population under 1,500 here, and I know in just this community, every restaurant owner that I've gone out to see was all affected. That's a hell of a lot of small business owners. I had one tell me, it was Thursday night with my son, he said to me he couldn't do the ERC because he had too many family members. And I said, okay, I didn't even bring it up. I just asked him, and I said, well, what did you get for the Family Medical Leave Act money? The guy looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? And I said, well, there's something else you qualify for, but you better get on it. 2020 is wrapping up. How soon would you like that extra money? So I think that's really the key, everybody. Share with these people that they are missing out on some things. Let us just, you're offering to check it out, and then you say, hey, we have a great referral program. We actually pay to get some of your other friends and family that could really probably use that too to see if they qualify. And if they go through the process, and we get paid, obviously, we get them invoiced and paid. Hopefully it's quicker than 90 days. They're going to earn that additional fee. So I hope that helps you all share that message here, why we still have the opportunity of 2020 and 2021. This opportunity is going away at the end of the year, guys. So we got to get out there and share the message why it's hot. Wherever you're going, I'd be getting a business card. I had one guy today said he stopped in somewhere, there were 20 business cards where he stopped in. I go, really? I would have took all 20 and called them up to see if they got their money, because that's a hell of a lot of leads. Now I'm thinking, I had 3 assisted care homes for about 12 years, and my staff said we had 2 huge boxes of old documents of all the workers. I said, wouldn't it be nice to call all of them, their caregivers? Guess what? Almost all those caregivers had a side client they were working on to make a little money on the side, 1 day a week, 1 evening a week, you name it, for 2020 and 21. All those people, especially the ones that work part-time. I thought, wow, I bet you I could help dozens of past employees that used to work for me, help them get that money. Do you think they'd be really thrilled to hear from their old boss that's getting the money? Hope so, because we got a lot of them. A lot of them had to move. They were helping a loved one. They might have went through a divorce and went to go somewhere else. I mean, all the reasons people come and go out of jobs. But think of the people you know who know people. And I see Tony up here from California, nice sunny California. Got some questions for me, Tony?
So the 10%, how long does the review take before the how long does that take? And then that's when they pay the 10%.
Yeah, 3 days or so.
So they'll have an analysis. They'll just in that time they'll be able to analyze their situation and say here's how much you're going to get back.
Yeah, here's a ballpark, and then obviously we get the deposit back. We're gonna have a very accurate, like this one here. This came out today. Here's your federal refund, and it says, if you guys can see it on there, 31.7. It was very accurate, and I should get track down the second one. This was only 1 year, so they're gonna know before they pay anything. Hey, this is what we're looking at. Actually, I got copies of those here. There's the tax credit intake form, which is similar, and then you have your participation agreement. We have some real basic questions on here, just so you know, more for us to understand. Like right now, did you receive ERC or PPP funds? We want to know if a business owner says, hey, I got 80 employees, this is for me personally, yes. But we'd sure like to know if he has more people, because like you mentioned earlier today, well, is there something else that could help them down the road? Maybe, we want to know though, and there's some questions that are by the calculations team. So we try to have as much as we can so they don't have to ask stuff that we already have. So pretty simple. I see this as a really neat opportunity to chat with a lot of businesses you never would have talked to or went by. I bet you all of you on the call had a business that said, I already got my ERC money, or I didn't qualify for these other programs. This one here, they probably will. Most people I've been encountering have been affected by COVID one way or the other. They had to take care of a family member, their parents, their brother, their kids, missed school, missed work. So the calculations team will call you and ask you questions on that.
Real quick one for the skeptics out there, and they say, well, I don't know about this. How do I find out more information? Obviously, there's a lot of information on the Family Medical Leave Act, but how about as it pertains to this specifically? Where do we leave them?
We have a third-party article. I'm actually looking to have it maybe prettied up a little bit because it didn't look too sexy at all, the form. We have some flyers we can give them. There's a couple of our flyers here I'm looking at. These are more PR educational. There's not a lot out there on it like ERC. There's not.
So there's no tax code. There's no.
It's already in the tax code. It's inside. The Family Medical Leave Act, and if they want to tear into something and do it themselves, be my guest.
Yeah.
It is proprietary. A lot of what we're trying to do here, and they're our processors and the CPAs. They don't like sharing a whole lot of details for what we call the do it. We're not educating the do-it-yourselfers. If they want to go elsewhere and have it done, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the skeptic client who says, how do I, and we have something to say. This is tax code, blah blah blah, or.
We do. We have a sheet, but bottom line is we'll run the numbers here for them, and if they want to be a skeptic, great. We're only charging a small percentage to get all the work done up front. I'd say if somebody's giving you a hard time on this little program, there's too much money at stake. Move on. I've got nobody push. I had one guy out of many that had pushback, and then I realized to myself who I was dealing with at the end of the day, and I'm like, why am I even helping this guy? The guy was kind of a jerk. I don't need clients like that. I don't.
We don't have any and that's an IRS check, right? It's a Treasury check.
U.S. Treasury.
Do you have any samples like redacted, like any?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got U.S. Treasury checks. Yep.
If we get some redacted ones, I mean that might help, right?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping this article will help you a little too. And really, guys, what I would do, I would go this month, 2020, because you still have time for it to go back to 2020. I would go to your low-hanging fruit, people who know you, you've had contact with them, you have a relationship, to avoid the pushback. Because you don't have time with a normal sales cycle to go knocking on doors saying, hey, hi, you've never met me before, I want to share another credit. I'd go after this. I would just tell a guy, if you're curious about this, pull up the Family Medical Leave Act, start reading. That changes to it.
I looked at it, JT, and I can see how they can decipher it in there, but it's not easy. I mean, so these guys spend a lot of time and expertise to go through it and pinpoint these credits. So the average Joe is not going to be able to find it, and because it's not your typical fill out line A and B and you're done. You got to know what you're doing.
Absolutely right, and I'm glad Jim said that because that's so true. Yeah, even the guys, the calculations guys, and that they said they're so good with any feedback saying this next. They don't need the headaches. They got so many people that want this done, and that's really where we're looking at this saying, how do we keep this simple? Let's get it out to the reps we know, get it out to help agents we know, find the people that are close to you, that know you, trust you. We're going to do all the calculation work up front with no money. Good luck going to a CPA having to do anything up front without a credit card. I had a guy the other day tell me he wants $500 up front just to do something. I was like, wow. A lot of small business owners don't want to do that. Let's at least do the work, get the guy his numbers, and go from there. That's right. They know I didn't get this big look at that food. So, I have shared with the people we help that listen, we're bringing them money. We're bringing them COVID relief funds that nobody else brought to them. And so, at the end of the day, when I talk about that article that to me wasn't very sexy, that we're trying to have looking a little prettier, just an IRS printout thing. I get it with their skepticism. I get it. But they all know they've been missing some tax credits and incentives out there, and you need to lay the groundwork to say, hey, have you ever felt like you missed some of that? Do you think you got all your COVID money from the Family Medical Leave Act for the individual, not your company, the individual self-employed guy, or the W-2 worker with the side hustle? I know so many W-2 workers that have a side hustle. It's crazy. It's crazy. Think about the guys you know that are doing a little mobile repair business or a little mobile detail shop, or the guy mowing lawns you see driving around. They're all out there. I saw a guy cleaning windows the other day. I wish now I would have had time to pull over and say, hey, how's your business doing? Your window cleaning business. You know, were you affected by COVID? Did you have to stay home because your kids were sick? You know, how did that affect you? You know, let's see if you qualify for some of this money. I got a girl coming in here after the call today. She's so damn excited. She initially told me about things she did get. And then I brought this up, and she's like, hell no, I didn't get $15,000 minimum on these credits for one of those years. Because I just told her on the bare minimum, that's kind of where it's at. Should have seen the text messages I got from her. I must have got 30 of them after that. The question is, like, today, I think it's good to lead with this. How much money you're getting. That gets my attention way more than the info sheet. This info sheet to me, I don't like it. This is sexy. When I see congratulations, you're getting a refund, 31.7, you got my attention with this number. I think this is neat. It says demystifying the tax code for the money rule. Again, you may not have them all, and these are what I use for a customer. And like Tony made a comment, great comment, you know, about that belief factor. Really, do we have a good article? There's not a lot out of here, and I'd like to go back and think our government has done that for a reason. I'll call it the tax loophole, where they don't explain, hey, are you taking advantage of all these things? They're not doing that. They are not doing that. They make it confusing. I'm going after low-hanging fruit. Guys I know, I'm saying, hey, I don't think you got this. You want it? I ain't calling you back. I'm going to tell you one time about it. I'm going on to the next guy because I'm already in mid-October, and this thing's done the end of the year. I want to get as many 2020 in with my 2021 so I get more bang for my buck. Now, if they dig around, you know, maybe we'll get around and follow up with them. For sure, I'll follow up with them back next year and say, oh, it's too bad you missed your money last year. That's the deadline. I'll remind them of that and tell them what we're seeing as an average. But I think we have enough flyers here in basic info to help these individuals. Remember this now, self-employed. Who do you know self-employed in your little community? I'm going to guess there's lots and lots and lots. I'd go out and find a guy that knows a ton of small business owners. I'd offer the house cleaning girl. She's cleaning houses for the guys that got bigger homes probably. I'd ask her, hey, can I pay you $1,000 for each referral you give me? People, let's help you get the money. But hey, do you work with them guys that own companies that are probably self-employed? Yep. I know I'm doing my cleaning girl. I mean, the forms. That didn't sound right. She's getting her refund money. So, questions, Jim?
I mean, basically all your realtors should qualify as well, correct?
Oh yeah, mortgage people are hurting. Realtors are hurting. Small restaurant owners are hurting. All your little guys doing service work are hurting. How did COVID affect them? Were they home with the kids? Today I heard about a gal that missed a lot of 2020, 21 work. Shit, she went and got a new job because the other place really kind of crapped on her after that. How many other people got that story? And I know Walmart's closing 300 stores. Rite Aid's going through bankruptcy now. American Family Insurance, 30% corporate layoff. These are the things I just heard about this morning. Guys, this is a big deal in the economy. Bring this money to them, and the U.S. Treasury seems to be working this faster than ERC because there's not a 600,000 backlog on ERC cases. So because of that, I think this would be a good lead-in for the other